Fans of Last Man Standing have been laughing for years, but there were some surprising turns behind the scenes. Fans don't understand why important characters went missing or were quickly recast. What caused these changes, like Kristen's sudden makeover and Ryan and Mandy's shocking replacements, was stranger than you might think. What really caused these big changes? Let's find out why some of the main actors left and how that changed the mood of the show. The popular American sitcom Last Man Standing first aired in 2011. Tim Allen plays Mike Baxter, a father and executive at an outdoor sporting goods shop. The show follows Mike's daily life as he deals with the problems that come with being a man in a house full of women, including his wife, three kids, and later his grandchild. Mike is a strong conservative with traditional views. He often disagrees with his family members, who are more liberal, causing events that are funny and relatable. The show also talks about his job and how the retail business is changing, and it often finds funny ways to talk about how modern families have changed over time. Last Man Standing was funny and sad at the same time, exploring themes of family, personal growth, and differences between generations. Tim Allen's performance as Mike Baxter became famous, and his character's stubborn but likable attitude won him a lot of fans. People liked the show because it showed family life in a way that was approachable and mixed comedic elements with deeper thoughts on relationships. The clever dialogue and Mike's funny but out-of-touch view on modern problems were big parts of the show's success. Last Man Standing has had many cast changes over the years. The sitcom starring Tim Allen was a hit with viewers and ran for 9 seasons. It even made it through a cancellation by ABC before being picked up by Fox. Even so, the show has many cases of having to find new actors for characters for different reasons. Kristen Baxter, Ryan Vogelson, and Mandy Baxter were some of the jobs that needed to be filled by new people. Vogelson is the father of Kristen's son, Boyd. Nick Jonas played Vogelson in the first season, but Jordan Masterson took over for the rest of the seasons. Last Man Standing had a big change in its cast in 2012 when Alexandra Krosny, Amanda Fuller, took over the role of Kristen Baxter that she had played before. It was said that Krosny was replaced for artistic reasons, and so that there would be a clear age difference between Kristen and her son Boyd in the second season of the show. The creative decision was made to change the family dynamic to fit the changing plot, and ABC said that the age jump was necessary for the show to go in the way they had planned. Krosny's character was originally played as a younger, less experienced mother. Fuller took over the part and made Kristen a more mature and independent woman, which changed how the story went. Fans of Last Man Standing had different feelings about Kristen Baxter being replaced. Fans who had grown attached to Krosny's portrayal of Kristen were upset when Amanda Fuller wasn't accepted into the show's world right away. In a 2019 interview, Fuller talked about how hard the change was and how some people reacted to it. She talked about how hard it was to take a part that had already been played by another actress and said, "You have to take it with a grain of salt, do your best, and hope they aren't too mean to you," which they can be. Fuller talked about the rise of social media, where fans were free to say what they thought, and many of them were unhappy with the recasting. The actor said she had to deal with cyberbullying, which was a problem she shared with her co-star Molly McCook, who later played Krosny's role in different situations. Both of them had to deal with harsh abuse and bad comments on the internet. There's an interesting fact that Krosny hadn't just been removed in Last Man Standing. Before she was cast as Kristen Baxter, Krosny was considered for the part of Peyton in Rob Thomas's popular TV show A Zombie. But before the show aired, Ali Michalka, an actor, took over the part from Krosny after the casting was changed. On this occasion, Krosny's part in a big project was ultimately changed, which probably made her leaving Last Man Standing feel even more important. After Ali Makaka was cast in 56 of iZombie's 71 episodes, the show became a hit, showing that recasting decisions in the entertainment business, while sometimes hard for the original actors, can be a normal part of how a show grows and changes. People were shocked when Mandy quit the show. Many members of the Baxter family are well known to Last Man Standing fans. Mandy, the stylish daughter of the show's main character Mike, is one of them. From the first season to the last, the Baxter daughter is a main character, and she goes through a lot of changes. In 2018, I watched the first show of season 7 of Last Man Standing. Fans were shocked to learn that Molly McCook, a taller blonde actress, had taken over the role of Mandy, which had previously been played by Molly Ephraim, a brunette actor. Most shows make sure that character replacements look about the same, but Last Man Standing did the exact opposite. They only looked at personality, which is why there was such a big change in how they looked. Fans were, of course, confused. In fact, so many people didn't like the show that they took to Twitter to complain about it. To understand why Molly Ephraim quit playing Mandy, you have to think back to a rough time in the making of the show. Last Man Standing was taken off the air by its primary network, ABC, in 2017. People who watch, write, and perform in the show thought for a while that the 6th season would be the last. I'm sad that the ride is over and already miss my show family. Ephraim wrote about the news on Instagram. Thank you so much for the chance. But about a year later, the unthinkable took place. Last Man Standing was born again, this time moving to Fox for more seasons. Ephraim had already started looking for work on other projects, which was a shame. When the news of the reboot came out, the actress chose not to play Mandy again. Matt Berry, the show's executive producer, said it was a shame during an interview at the Television Critics Association's summer press tour. "We really love her. We're not the same without her." The crew chose to find someone else to play the part, but they didn't specifically look for someone who looked like Ephraim. Molly McCook said that when she tried out for Mandy, she tried to make it her own. During all of those seasons, Molly Ephraim did a wonderful job on the show. In a talk with Entertainment Tonight, McCook said, "It's so strange that you chose me. I knew they weren't looking for a copy of Molly if they asked me to try out." Among the many stars who left the show, Nick Jonas was one of the most well-known. Nick Jonas quit Last Man Standing after one season as Ryan, Mandy Baxter's daughter's boyfriend. Many of his fans were shocked when he quit, since he was a well-known pop star and had a big part on the show, which made people excited to see him. It was for both personal and business reasons that Jonas quit Last Man Standing. To begin, Nick Jonas. His music and the Jonas Brothers have always been his main focus in his career, which made committing to a long-term TV part harder. Jonas had to balance being on the show with going on music tours and making albums with his brothers, which took a lot of time and effort. It made sense for Nick to focus on his music career again since the Jonas Brothers were becoming more famous again after their reunion in 2019. He definitely put a lot of effort into his music, and with the band back in the spotlight, it would have been hard to keep up a steady part in a TV show that would require filming for months at a time. Nick Jonas's role on Last Man Standing wasn't as big as all the hype had made it seem, which was another big reason why he quit. Ryan, his character, was supposed to be his boyfriend for Mandy Baxter, played by Molly McCook, and he was supposed to show up again and again. There were times when Ryan was supposed to make the show funny, but he wasn't as important as characters like Mike Baxter or Vanessa Baxter. It's possible that the show's writers and directors decided that Nick's character wasn't making as much of a difference as they had hoped, so they wrote him off so that they could focus on other characters and plots. Additionally, stories spread that Nick Jonas wasn't completely happy with how his character was being developed and how little screen time he had. Many sitcoms focus on just a few main characters. Actors who play recurring characters like Nick might feel like their character doesn't have enough depth or growth. This might have played a part in his choice to leave, especially since he was busy with his music career and other obligations. There were no public statements from Nick Jonas or the producers that directly said he was unhappy, but it's common for actors to quit roles when they feel creatively stifled or when their personal schedules no longer work with the show's needs. Additionally, Flynn Morrison quit the show, which made fans wonder why he did so. Boyd Baxter was played by Flynn Morrison on Last Man Standing. He left the show after season 6 because the producers decided to put someone else in the role as part of a bigger change in the show's direction. Boyd was introduced as Tim Allen's character, Mike Baxter's young grandson. His early years on the show were marked by the cute and funny ways he interacted with his family. Boyd was portrayed by Flynn in a way that made him seem like a sweet naughty, and sometimes more wise than his year's child, which made him popular with fans. His leaving and recasting, on the other hand, were part of a choice that would have a big effect on the show's future. There was a normal choice made behind the scenes that led to Flynn Morrison's leaving that happens a lot in TV shows with child actors. It can be hard for child actors, especially those who work in comedies, to grow and fit everything in. The character Boyd was first written to be a young child, but as the series went on, Flynn got bigger, and his looks no longer matched the age of the character he was playing. The writers and directors of Last Man Standing probably thought that the part needed to be filled by someone else so that the character's age would fit with how the story was going. After being canceled by ABC, Fox brought back season 7 of Last Man Standing. With the new season came a lot of changes to both the main cast and the supporting character. Another actor, Jet Jurgensmeyer, was cast as Boyd Baxter, and he played the part for the rest of the series. In television, recasting a part is common, especially for a character like Boyd who is so important to the family dynamics. However, it can be upsetting for viewers who have grown attached to the previous actor. In this case, the recasting was done to bring the show up to date and make sure that the actors fit with how the story was developing, especially since Boyd was supposed to play a bigger role in later shows. Erica Alexander was another important character who left the show, making a lot of cast changes. Erica Alexander quit the show after season 7 because she was tired of playing Carol, Mike and Vanessa Baxter's neighbor and friend. Carol was a recurring figure who was known for being strange and making the Baxter family laugh. It was clear that her character would not be on the show in future seasons, even though her leaving wasn't as well known as some of the other key cast changes. Erica Alexander left Last Man Standing for a number of reasons, one of which is with the role her character played on the show. Carol was presented as a friendly and helpful neighbor who often gave the Baxters, especially Vanessa, good advice and funny stories. As the show went on, though, Carol's storyline wasn't as important as that of some of the other main characters, like Mike or Mandy. This meant that Alexander's character didn't have much room to grow or change on the show, which may have been one reason why she chose to leave. It's common for supporting characters in sitcoms to have short story arcs and become less important as the major characters get deeper. This may have been the case with Carol. Erica Alexander also had a long and successful career in show business before she joined Last Man Standing. She probably had other chances to look around. She was famous for playing Maxine Shaw on Living Single before she played Carol. She had also been in a lot of other movies and TV shows, both in front of and behind the camera. Alexander may have felt that Last Man Standing no longer fit with her career goals or aspirations, because she was an experienced actress with a wide range of skills. This is especially true if the part of Carol wasn't giving her the creative satisfaction she was looking for. In this way, leaving the show may have been the right thing to do as she looked for bigger or more varied parts that would have let her use her skills better. Any TV show, but especially a network comedy, lasts for 9 seasons, which is a very long time. You might not think that a comedy would last, but Tim Allen's Last Man Standing did. Tim Allen played Mike Baxter, a manager at an outdoor sporting goods shop in the show, and was mostly about his relationships with his wife, daughters, grandson, and the guys in his family. The show was created by Jack Burdett and began on ABC. It later moved to Fox and finished after 9 years in 2021.